It's a little chilly today. Unpleasant. I don't like wind. So I was on YouTube earlier. Came across this video of a look at this little fox. Came across this video of one of those makeover videos. It's just a short. And this beautiful girl got her hair cut. Looked really good. All the comments, not on her haircut, all the comments were on the fact that she wasn't smiling. I mean, who cares? Who cares? I mean, she didn't look like she was upset with her haircut. She's just someone who doesn't smile much. And she's a very beautiful girl, young girl, probably 20-something. But there were some people who were really aggressive with it, saying that, you know, like angry, which I found shocking. The irony of, there's one guy who said that she should be told to smile, she should fucking smile, and, you know, like that kind of energy, really aggressive and angry and awful, like nasty. So then somebody told him to shut up. And he replied, "Don't tell me what to do. You can't tell someone what to do." And I'm like, okay, that's the reason. You want her to comply and be a certain way, but if somebody asks you to be a certain way, you're not having it. You're getting really angry about it. But you can't see it. You can't see the irony of him trying to tell this poor girl that she should smile because it makes you feel fucking better. And yet somebody tells you to shut up and you're like, "Don't tell me what to do." Yeah. I mean, yeah, like a lot of women get told to smile because it's like a societal thing that women ought to smile. And I'm like, I'm minding my own business, going through my day, sitting there having a cup of coffee or just walking to work or whatever, minding my own business, and some guy comes along and says, "You should smile." Dude, first of all, you don't know me. Second, you're probably never going to see me again. Third, what's it to you? Fourth, why do I need to comply to your expectations of what a female should be doing because it'll make you feel better? Yeah. I think a lot of women have this sort of frustration bone to pick. And so yeah, I found that really ironic, and it made me think about expectations or assumptions of what it should look like to be enlightened, what it should look like to be spiritual leader or spiritual guru or spiritually awake, or, you know, like, what does it look like? Well, it looks like you and me. That's what it looks like. I mean, there are people who sit in gowns and robes and have a certain kind of presence. They give you the aura of being enlightened. So you go to them. You have some sort of expectation of what it means to be awakened or spiritual or whatever. So if somebody looks the part, you're more inclined to listen to them. And personally, I think I found it a relief to see women like Gabby Bernstein, who teaches this sort of stuff. And she looks more like a new age yoga teacher than anything, but she doesn't look like your typical kind of spiritual guru, which I found refreshing. And there are people who, I mean, you're going to change in your growth, and you're going to change in your journey. You'll probably mellow out a little, but you know, you're still you. There's no need to turn into some monk or, you know, wear strange clothes or be hippy dippy or anything like that. Just be you. That's all you're supposed to be, is just be you. So yeah, like there's like expectations that you're never supposed to lose your temper, you're never supposed to get upset, you know, fall into the 3D and get attached to anything. Like, there's gonna be times where that sort of thing happens. Up and down, up and down. I don't know of any time that any state of being has been permanent, but I think with practice, some of the other states of being go away, become less. You might occasionally dip into it, and then you get out of it again. So the more you practice, the faster you can get out of it. So you just don't stay there. So sometimes, you know, like depression, if you're in a depressed state, you're trying to give yourself comfort. So that's what you get from it. And that's what the benefit of it is. So you stay there, and it also gives you this sort of feeling of, I don't want to do anything, so I'm just going to be helpless, and therefore other people will do stuff for me. And you know, the more you stay there, the harder it is to get out, and then you become clinically depressed. But it's just a state like anything else. Yeah, like same with a state of happiness. You don't stay happy all the time. And then there are people who try to stay happy all the time who are quietly depressed, quietly miserable, hiding things, and they feel they can't express it because they're expected to be happy all the time. It's an unrealistic expectation to put on yourself. It's too much pressure. Just be you. It's all you have to be is you. So, yeah, like a lot of these expectations of what it looks like to be enlightened, to be awake, and you know, some people are awake and still dabble in the dark side, still do things that you're technically not supposed to do. But, you know, they have a different understanding, they have a different approach, they have their own set of beliefs of how they want to run their lives. And yet, the thing that's separating you from being you is your judgment on what that's supposed to look like, that's supposed to be like. Well, they don't look enlightened, so I can't believe what they have to say. That's not what an enlightened person looks like, so I'm not going to listen to them. So it's not about your behavior on the outside in the sense, I mean, in some respects it is, because you change your inside, you change your behavior on the outside. But it's not it's not an outside-in job. It's an inside job. 9/11 was an inside job because 9/11 is all about the awakening. IXXI, Christ. So it's an inside job because it has to come from the inside out. Doesn't matter what the outside looks like. The outside will change as a result of you changing within. That's the most important thing. So I noticed a couple of people in cars wearing masks. Is that a thing again? I don't understand how people can go through the last 4 years and seriously not have evolved at all. Oh my gosh. I mean, right there is a prime example of how people live their lives differently due to perception. What I wanted to talk about additionally is, well, it kind of goes hand in hand with, say, see what you think it looks like to be healthy. And so the idea of what it looks like to be healthy, you think it might look like somebody who's really muscular and ripped and physically active all the time and eats really healthy, like eats salads and greens and vegetables and protein and balances all their calories and everything. So to some extent, yes. However, there are people who are quietly unhealthy despite having the outward image of appearing to be healthy, but underneath they're not healthy. They eat a lot of junk and drink a lot of alcohol, and they're exercising too much. Their body can't take it. They're not listening to their body. They're maybe not eating enough. So they could be borderline anorexic or something like that. And maybe they're depriving their body of nutrients that your body needs. There's all sorts of things that could be off. Or, you know, they just have a lot of stress in their lives, which is why they work out in the first place. Or they have a lot of repressed anger. They're not dealing with the internal, they're dealing with the external. And so the internal is actually eating them alive. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of things that could be going on that we're not aware of. And so sometimes you'll hear people who run marathons dying of a heart attack. And that's why, because they have too much stress in their lives they're not dealing with. They're using exercise as the outlet, but it's not solving the problem. So the rest of the time, they're angry or stressed out or doing things to cope. So it's the same sort of thing, you know, and some people could be spiritual for 5 minutes, claim to be spiritual, you know, like go to church on Sundays, and then the rest of the time they're a bunch of assholes. So I think too this comes hand in hand with these spiritual gurus who have a facade. They're not being authentic. They think that this is what it means to be spiritual, so they put that image out there, but they're not being authentic. They're essentially being deceptive to themselves and to others. It's like they might have some knowledge and some wisdom, but underneath they're repressing things like their dark side. They're repressing anger. They're repressing unhealed wounds. They're repressing some traumas or what have you. But basically it boils down to their dark side, because they think they need to be on the light side. So this is the problem with the duality thing. It's like, if you think that you need to be on the spiritual pillar and you think that it means that you have to behave a certain way, but then you are not dealing with, so let's say like repressed urges or desires or shadow self or that sort of thing, then they're going to come up. And then you hear of these people who have been accused of you know what. So that's the problem. If you're not going to deal with the whole of who you are, it's going to come up somewhere else. And it's kind of like the pressure, the leavening. It's like you put pressure on someone, the stuff that is not dealt with is going to come out somewhere. And so anyway, there was a time in my journey where I realized that it's all about wholeness. It's not about bouncing from one extreme to the other, saying that's satanic, so I'm going to be on this side where it's all good. Because there is no side where it's all good. You are not all good. You have a little bit of bad and a little bit of good. So you gotta balance it out. You have to face it and deal with it and confront it and embrace it, because the so-called bad side comes from fear, comes from lack, neglect, pain, suffering, false beliefs, that sort of thing. And so if you don't embrace it, it's gonna rise up. So yeah, that's what wholeness is about. Wholeness is about accepting the whole of who you are and just being you. So back when I started my channel, 2017, I made a promise to myself that I would be authentic, and If I was upset, I'd be upset. If I was happy, I'd be happy. If I was going through something, I'd share it. I mean, I don't share everything, there's no need to, but if I choose to share something and I'm going through something, then I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not going to pretend to be cheerful just because I have a YouTube channel, or, you know, like some people are just like, yeah, they're happy all the time, which is not all the time. There are times where they're not happy, but they don't put that on camera, and that's their choice. It's totally fine. But I think that it would be beneficial for people to see it. And anyhow, the point is that if that's the nature of your channel, that's great. But also, nature of my natural state of being, like, yeah, I joke around, I laugh a lot, but I'm probably a very serious kind of person. I mean, I think a lot, and I'm very introspective, and I'm both introverted and extroverted. So if you saw me out in a social situation, I turn it on and I'm social, and then when I'm at home, I'm kind of like relaxed, and I'm not like, I don't need to turn it on, you know? And part of that comes too from social expectations. Like if you're at a party, you know, there's been times where I was at a bar and I'm just sitting there minding my own business. I'm not like thinking I am in a bad mood or don't like it here or anything. I'm just sitting there, and I've had people come up to me and saying, "Oh, you look bored." I'm like, "Well, thank you for telling me." Like, why did you feel compelled to come over here and tell me that? I don't know you. I didn't talk to you. I haven't looked at you. Why do you feel you have to tell me that? And I wasn't bored. I was just sitting there. But like, if I'm not sitting there consciously aware of what my face is doing because I don't give a damn, what business is it of yours? Like, why do you feel the need to police other people's facial expressions? So anyhow, yeah, like I have just been me, and, you know, take it or leave it, like it or not. Some days I'm happy, some days I'm not. Some days I'm just normal. Sometimes I don't put any pressure on myself to look a specific way, to smile, to put any airs or graces on. I mean, I just do what I feel like doing. And yeah, I guess it comes up against some societal norms that people expect certain people to behave a certain way or look a certain way or do a certain thing, and which is kind of, I don't know, I guess it comes from, where does it come from? I don't know. But, c'est la vie. But in doing so, in doing so, I embraced fully whatever was going on with me, embraced fully how I looked on camera, what I said, what I did. And yeah, there are moments where I look back now, you know, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, like that's like from a different perspective, and kind of like, okay, I understand where it's coming from, so I have compassion for myself. And, you know, when you're going through the fear stage, there's a lot of, you know, fear and anger and frustration and sense of urgency and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like I can feel that, I can see that, but it's like I'm in a different place now, and I feel calmer, I feel more relaxed. I don't feel, I mean, obviously, like, I don't feel that pressure or sense of urgency because I'm not in that space anymore. You know, the space where I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what the answers are, I don't know, like, where is the end of this journey, where is it heading, and am I gonna like it at the end of the journey? So now I'm kind of at the end, near the end, at the end of the journey, and it's good here. So I don't have that pained feeling, that, you know, the struggle, the fight, the, like, you know, tell me what is this place and what's going on. It isn't there anymore. So, you know, it's easy for me to look back and say, well, wow, from this position, but I also can understand where I was at the time. And in showing the difference, you know, some of you are in that position that I was in 2017. You know, you're in the fear, you're in the panic, you're in the, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing or why this place is the way that it is. So, you know, that's kind of where you're at. It only gets better from here, basically. But it's chilly out here and windy and kind of unpleasant. The only pleasant thing about being out here is the sunshine. I really miss the sunshine. It's been kind of cloudy the last few days. But I hate wind. I am not a wind girl. I don't like wind. I can't stand it. So I don't mind a gentle breeze, but I don't like the wind. So yeah, like, I don't know where I feel like there are magical things to come. I feel like things are headed in a really nice direction, and I'm looking forward to all the changes that are coming. Even the changes that the conspiracy people are afraid of, because, you know, most of those changes are fake. I had someone ask me today if CERN is real or fake. And I'm like, yeah, CERN is as fake as NASA. It's just a show. It's just there to make you believe they're doing something. They're not doing anything. The sooner you understand everything is fake, the better off you'll be. So, anyway, the sooner I get warm, the better off I'll be.